The tax-free savings account, also known as TFSA, is the best weapon known to humankind against paying taxes as a Canadian. But is that all that this magnificent machine has to offer? And better yet, can TFSA actually make you rich? Well, let's talk about it. Let's look at it this way. Have you ever tried looking for a parking spot in a busy city? Well, let me tell you something. I live in Toronto and it's an absolutely beautiful city, but when it comes to parking, it sucks. Pretty much like setting up your tax-free savings account. But once you found that perfect parking spot, same as you have set up the TFSA account and you learn how to maximize the profits, from then on it just feels so good. So the basics of the tax-free savings account are pretty straightforward. It's only available to Canadians over 18 years of age. I think Justin Bieber qualifies. As well as it's a tax-sheltered account, meaning you won't have to pay tax on any capital gains within your TFSA. But the real question is, how can we juice out the full potential of it? First of all, if we could ask whoever made the tax-free savings account to rename it to tax-free investment account, that would be great. As the account allows you to leave some money in there just like a savings account would, it was not actually intended to just be a savings account. Hold up, wait a minute. I know, but the idea is if you want to squeeze out every possibility that TFSA has to offer, first of all, you gotta stop thinking of it as a savings account, like the 42% of Canadians that do, and instead put it to work as an investment vehicle. Then, whether you choose to invest in real estate, mutual funds, ETFs, single stocks, make sure you do it through TFSA. And that's the first step of unlocking its super profitabilities. Right off the bat, TFSA is designed to work best long-term, and those who understand that the slow and steady wins the race will be able to take the full advantage of this type of account. Now that being said, you can still use TFSA for short-term, especially if you're saving up for something urgent. For example, I cashed out some of my investments and then I left the money in TFSA for a down payment. I knew that it will not make a difference if I moved that money into a regular checking account, as my TFSA contribution rule will not change until January 1st of next year. So I just left the money in there, collecting that really slow interest rate. Would you handle that differently? Let me know in the comments below, because I really want to know if that was a bad move. TFSA is a very powerful tool. It has the ability to follow the growth of your investments. Current contribution limit is a little over $75,000. Let's say you've maxed out that limit through investments and those investments have grown twofold. Now, if you cash all that out, tax-free, your new contribution limit has turned to $150,000. Comes next year, January 1st, you can put all that money back in, plus the additional $5,000, and you're the new proud owner of a $155,000 tax-free vessel. That is awesome. Or is it? Let's rewind back to where the contribution limit was $75,000. And you had just learned from this video that you can invest into various things within TFSA. The young and ambitious that you are, you decide to buy up every risky stock that's being promoted on Wall Street bets. Whether you consider that bad luck or just being stupid, you end up with your portfolio down 50% at $37,500. Now you have to take that out to repay whatever is left back to your roommate. If that's not the only reason to get depressed, listen to this. Your TFSA contribution room is no longer $75,000. It has now been deflated 50%. And comes next January 1st, the most you can contribute is $37,000. Now that's what I call a black hole. Moral of the story, make sure you use TFSA for investments that you're sure that are gonna go up. That could be broad market mutual funds, could be index funds, could be ETFs that follow the S&P 500, and also individual stocks that you're sure they're gonna go to the moon in long term. If you're excited to learn more about TFSA, make sure you smash the like button, because I read somewhere there's a direct correlation between TFSA making you the most money and this video getting most likes. If you're one of those people who like to wake up early, do the market research, then day trade for a couple of hours, yeah, that's cool, but don't do it in TFSA. First of all, what is day trading? It's when you buy and you sell the same stock on the same day. As it can be profitable, it would be nice if you didn't have to pay any taxes on those beautiful gains, which is why CRA has stated specifically for no day trading in TFSA. The account is considered to be semi-retirement investment account, a good opportunity for Canadians to learn about stocks, bonds, you know, the boring stuff. And if CRA will notice you day trading in your TFSA account, they may consider that as you making business in that account, and they may drown you in hefty fees. But the specific rules about day trading in TFSA account on the CRA website are very vague. I know a few people who've done actually day trading in TFSA account and got away with it, but it doesn't mean it's legal and it doesn't mean you should do it. Another year, another birthday, and another $6,000 of contribution room to your TFSA account. Me, for example, being self-employed with 8 children, though I'm a little concerned because most of them don't look like me. Nah, I'm just kidding. I can only imagine how difficult it is to raise a child at the same time trying to save up $6,000 to put into your TFSA account every single year. The great thing is if you're unable to come up with money this year, that contribution room does not disappear, and instead it's carried over to next year. So maybe next year when your kid finally turns 7 years old and gets a full-time job, them and you as a team, you guys can finally max out the full contribution of your tax-free savings account. Another great thing about TFSA is that it's your account. It is your investment and it's actually your money. Let's say for whatever reason you ran out of money from your piggy bank, the emergency fund, the stockings reserve, and you're still short for that trip to Maldives. Now this is not financial advice, by the way. Well, you always have the option to dip into your TFSA without penalties, without fees, and of course without tax implications. Depending if you hold your money in TFSA as cash or investments, will definitely make the process maybe a day or two longer. But the best part is at the end, it's yours 100%, unlike the other investment accounts out there. TFSA is a judgment-free account. The same contribution room is given to everybody regardless of how much money they make. For example, RRSP is also a tax-sheltered account, but how much money you can put there is directly correlated to how much money you make, giving some a better opportunity to harvest those investment profits than others. This is where TFSA becomes a great option for students, seniors, and self-employed. This is where they can put pocket change to work, tax-free. Have you ever opened a water bottle? Well, TFSA is even easier to open. Any Canadian bank or an online brokerage offers that option, but the investment opportunities will greatly vary depending on where you decide to open it. Banks, for example, can open it super quickly right on the spot, but will give you very limited options to what to do with your money there while charging you super high fees. So just try to avoid it if you can help it. I convinced my family and friends to go with an online broker. You might have watched in my older videos. I personally like Questrade for many reasons, one of them being the fact that they allow you to invest in the full spectrum of stocks, index funds, and ETFs that no other Canadian online brokerage does, as well as low transaction fees. Another great option is the well-known Wealth Simple and its famous $0 transaction fees, as well as a easy-to-use app interface. If you would like to set up your TFSA account through one of these brokers, I would very much appreciate you use the referral link that I left for you in the description below. And if you made it to the end, awesome, because I will give you the most important tips on how to max out profits in your TFSA. Number 1, try to use TFSA to build future wealth and not plan a vacation. You must be getting tired of hearing me say this, but TFSA is a long-term wealth building tool that can make anybody rich if used properly. And saving up for vacation is not really thinking long-term. Number 2, open more than one TFSA account. Yes, you can have as many TFSA accounts as you want, and it's actually a good idea to have separate accounts for the saving, for the short-term investing, and for the long-term investing, all under TFSA umbrella. Track your contribution limit by yourself. The CRA will also do it for you, but can we really trust them? I actually like to keep a note on my phone where I always update when I put money into TFSA or I take money out. Dedicate an income stream to fund your TFSA. This is my favorite. You have to use a side hustle or a part-time job to max out your yearly contribution limit of $6,000. It's way easier than using a portion of your paycheck that comes from the main job because it's gonna feel like you're taking food off the table for retirement. And if you want to learn more about the financial minimalism journey, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.